Perfect matches on first dates. Some dates never go as planned, but others seem perfect from the first encounter. In this video, we've compiled some of the most adorable matches on first dates. Remember to let us know your most adorable pair after viewing the video. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going. 10. Tom and Louise. Tom wasn't very confident about the first date, and he thought he'd ruin it. He admitted that he could sometimes be awkward and make things weird for the other person. Thankfully, Fred, who'd been coordinating the matches, was around, and he was willing to help Tom nail the first impression. He did a role play with Tom and demonstrated how he'd greet a lady when she walked up to him. Louise was ready to meet Tom, and she hoped it would be someone she'd be able to have a romantic Christmas with. She finally wanted to make matching Christmas sweaters with someone she loved.
This is how I'm not sexy. This is why I'm on the show.
Tom still wasn't sure when he was supposed to stand and greet Louise, but the bartender got his back with the cues. He was nervous at first, but he managed to charm his way and make Louise laugh at his jokes. Probably her cute voice was a bit comforting and pleasant to listen to. Many people prefer to hide their imperfections on a first date so that they don't scare away their partners. It wasn't the case for this next lady. 9. Sarah and Phil. Sarah had one of her legs amputated and she used to hide it on dates, but after some time, she decided to flaunt her flaw on the first dates. She could see that Phil wanted to ask about the leg, but he didn't know how to start the conversation. He thought that she was beautiful, but naturally, the leg still bothered Phil. Sarah saved the situation and explained why one of her legs was amputated. Sarah was diagnosed with cancer when she was 16, and the news devastated her because she was healthy.
I felt so healthy and I looked so well. To think I had cancer, I just didn't understand.
On the last day she'd have her leg, Sarah painted all her toenails different colors and waited for the dreadful moment. Once the elephant was out of the way, the two continued with the conversation and talked about other things. Phil narrated to Sarah how he lost his mom and how his friends helped him get over the trying time. They seemed to really connect as they chatted and talked about life. Sarah felt it was easier to talk to a guy who'd been shaped by a rough patch in life, and Phil was that kind of guy. A particular obsession for a character or a film can either ruin a relationship or create a bond, which cannot be broken. 8. Jack and Claudia. Claudia lost a couple of her previous boyfriends because Harry Potter always came first. The show decided to hook her up with a Harry Potter fan, and probably she wouldn't lose that one because they'd have enough to talk about for years. Claudia was hoping to meet someone with tattoos, but not too many of them. Jack amazed her, but in the right way because he had Harry Potter tattoos and he grew up religiously reading the books. Claudia wanted to know everything about the tattoos, when he got them, how he got them, and why he got them. Claudia's parents were very strict when she was growing up, and she started to rebel when she turned 15. She got all sorts of piercings and stretches on her body. Jack didn't seem appalled by the piercings, and he thought the stretches were impressive. They were clearly made for each other. There's no better day to go on a dating spree than the day set aside for love. Valentine's Day is a great day to spread love and feel loved. 7. Buddy and Dominique. Dominique was on a date a few days before she appeared on the show, and the guy told her she was a 7 and he only dated 10s. She was looking for someone who'd see her as a 10. Dominique was a hairdresser, but she grew up on a farm and she was homeschooled. She loved people but had no friends because she'd never been around people while growing up. Her ideal match would probably be someone chatty to compensate for all the time she never got to talk to people.
I lived on a farm most of my life. I got homeschooled. I had no friends. That's why I just really like people.
Her Valentine for the day was Buddy, and his favorite person was his Nana. Buddy talked to his grandmother for hours and also had a hard time ending the conversation before he walked into the bar. He thought Dominique was gorgeous and probably worked somewhere in the front office because of her pretty face. Buddy was also very chatty, and she enjoyed it, so it seemed like they'd have a rather lengthy conversation and ultimately a genuine connection. Sometimes a person's real soulmate is someone they already knew from before, but circumstances couldn't allow them to be together. 6. Chris and Melinda. Melinda's journey to fame began when The Sun asked her to be on their cover, and the following week, she was on almost all newspapers. She was 47 when she appeared on the show, yet looked 25 and glowing. When Melinda entered the bar, the waiters recognized her and exchanged faces. She always stumbled on her previous relationships and thought of doing things differently by staying single for a bit over a year. Melinda wasn't into the guys who approached her, and the ones that she liked never approached her. She was hoping to meet a kind, intelligent, good-hearted man. Her match was an ex-celebrity photographer, Chris, who was also looking for a beautiful, kind person. Chris was shocked when he saw Melinda waiting for him at the bar. Not only did he know her because she was famous, but he also photographed her wedding. Melinda didn't recognize him, probably because she had many photographers, but she was very excited to see him. They clicked very well from the moment they started talking, and the bond was bound to last for a long time. When preparing to go on a first date, one of the things that probably would not cross anyone's mind is if they wore the same clothes or color as their partner. How would you react in such a case? 5. Cindy and Ian. Ian walked up to his date and the color of his shirt matched her dress, and it's not a random black or white color. It's one of those shades that one could only have one article of clothing for that color. Fred drew a love heart in the air to confirm that the stars already aligned for Cindy and Ian. When Cindy left the house, her mom told her that she looked lovely and would impress her date. They loved everything about each other and also ordered the same main course. The conversation they had at the table was sweet and romantic. It was clear they'd make a great couple with beautiful children. After the show, they announced during a follow-up that they were happily dating for over 6 months. Cindy and Ian were a match made in heaven. Many first dates are centered around likes and dislikes. They are rarely about serious topics like the environment or climate change. Well, the next pair changed the narrative. 4. Richard and Finn. Finn was already too nervous about meeting her date, which was normal because the first impression is everything. When she was younger, she knew she'd be married with kids at 26, but she was 27 and marriage wasn't anywhere near the picture. Richard was an architect and Finn worked in environmental regulations, so that was a great point to start a conversation. She was interested in climate change and Richard was working on eco-friendly plans. Finn loved the environment and she couldn't stop talking about it. She was concerned that men probably thought she was annoying because she talked about climate change, but Richard was intrigued. Finn wanted to know more about Richard's project, which included a self-sustaining house and a forest environment. He was happy to explain the details to Finn and even draw sketches to explain the project. There was a dog in the picture, but he also wanted a family because the dog wouldn't be sufficient. It was a great match, and they had a lifetime to talk about the environment together. A lady wore a jacket with a Japanese quote which said, "If it's good, take it quickly," and that is precisely what she did. 3. Richard and Jess. Richard and Jess enjoyed each other's company, and in the middle of the conversation, Richard had an adorable reveal for Jess. He was a teacher, and one of his pupils gave him a letter to take to his date. The 10-year-old was concerned that her teacher was 28 but didn't have a girlfriend. She put in a good word for him in the letter and told Richard to promise that he'd only give Jess the letter if he liked her. The letter moved the sparkle in their eyes from 70% to 100%. Richard liked Jess, and she was everything he'd want in a woman. He said that he'd love to see Jess again if she'd accept, and Jess shared the same feeling. She thought that Richard was a lovely man, and Jess was looking forward to the second date to see where it'd take them. The next pair on first dates will leave you wishing that your Wi-Fi connection was as strong as their bond. 2. Aaron and Aviva. Growing up, Aaron gave his parents a lot of trouble. He was always moved from one parent to the other, and to get rid of the frustrations in his head, he started fighting other people. His parents considered putting him in care, and that broke him even more. Aaron grew up blocking his childhood memories, but as an adult, he understood that his parents did the best they could.
I block out a lot of my childhood because I don't like to think about it. Because, I don't know, I wouldn't treat my children the way my mum and dad treated me. Simple.
Aviva looked at him with so much compassion when he narrated his story, and one could tell that she was already falling for Aaron. Both her parents were Rasta, and when Aaron said that his mother was also a Rasta, Aviva sealed the deal. She wanted someone who'd accept her and have chemistry with her. Her lowest point in a relationship was when a man told her that she'd be amazing if she looked like everybody else. Well, her look wouldn't be a problem to Aaron because he said he loved her dreadlocks. He loved everything about her. Months later, they went back to the show to announce that they were expecting a baby, the first baby from first dates. Adorable. Our top pick for the most adorable perfect match is two of the most charming geeks ever.
I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works.
1. Suzy and Martin. Suzy, a teaching assistant, was hoping to meet her Prince Charming on the first date. She never really got a lot of attention, and Suzy was finally hoping for the big break. Suzy got hot because she was nervous, but deep inside, she wanted the date to go perfectly. She also had a stammer when she got nervous, but Suzy knew how to handle it with grace. Her partner was 38-year-old Martin, who was too shy and panicked if he didn't know what to say to a lady. The first few seconds were a bit awkward because neither of the two dared to break the ice. When Suzy was attracted to someone, she became quiet, and she probably liked Martin lots because there was a long silence before she spoke. Suzy asked Martin what he did for a living, and he was into IT.
What do you do?
I'm an IT contractor.
Oh, that's nice.
They also loved superhero stuff, and if Martin were to choose a superhero, he'd be Superman. The bartender also decided to chip into the conversation and make the date more comfortable and charming. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.